So have you ever wondered what really separates a goal that you crush from one that, well, it just kind of fizzles out by February? This year, we're not just setting goals. We're digging into a psychological blueprint to actually make them stick. All right, let's dive into this framework for real, meaningful achievement in 2026. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. Before you make a plan, before you take a single step, there has to be a decision. And this isn't some flimsy wish or a hope. Nope. It's a full-on commitment that shuts down that internal debate before it even gets started. And that powerful commitment, it actually has a name: the lock-in mentality. This is the absolute bedrock of the entire framework. Without this, even the most brilliant plans are basically built on sand. It's about you drawing a line and deciding once and for all that you are all in. Now, here's the key part. The lock-in mentality is a conscious act. It's you telling yourself that the escape hatches, the option to quit, to second guess, to renegotiate the terms with yourself, are closed for business. They're off the table. This is the one essential first step that makes everything else even possible. But, how do you keep that fire burning? Well, the source suggests this really simple but incredibly effective ritual. You start the year with a crystal clear intention. And listen, this is the part that makes all the difference, you consciously renew it every single month. This stops your goal from fading into the background and keeps it right where it needs to be, front and center. Okay, so once you're officially locked in, it's time to build the first of three pillars, your vision. And notice we're not talking about the how just yet. This is all about creating an incredibly powerful and motivating why that's literally going to pull you forward on the tough days. The process here is deliberately a little messy at first. This is your permission slip to dream big, to be a little unrealistic even. Just brainstorm all the things you'd absolutely love to achieve if nothing was standing in your way. What do you really want? Let all those desires come to the surface without any judgment. It's only after you've explored all that you start to narrow it down into a clear what and a super compelling why. And what this does is it taps into some really deep psychology. Research shows this over and over again. Goals that are connected to our identity, to who we believe we are just way more powerful than goals about getting some external prize. It's really about being, not just doing. And just look at the incredible shift in language here. On the left, I'm eating healthy to become. That puts your identity way off in the future. It's something you're still chasing. But on the right, I eat healthy because I am a healthy person. Bam! That grounds your actions in who you are right now. This tiny little change in self-talk is a massive, massive driver of consistent action. So with that powerful vision locked and loaded, we need pillar 2, creating the structure. This is where we take that inspiring kind of abstract why and translate it into a concrete, totally actionable how. Now, we've probably all seen the classic SMART goals, right? But let's really look at why this thing is so critical. A vague goal like, I want to get in shape, has no roadmap. But a SMART goal like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week for 45 minutes and lose 5 pounds by the end of March, well, that gives you a specific target, a way to measure it, and a deadline. See how much more real that feels? But listen, structure does not mean you have to be rigid. A plan shouldn't feel like a cage. It should feel like a guide. By setting up these regular checkpoints, weekly, monthly, quarterly, you give yourself the freedom to adjust and adapt as you go. This makes your plan a living, breathing thing, not some fragile document you write once and then forget about. A really great way to organize all this is with a tool called OKRs, that's Objectives and Key Results. So, for instance, your objective might be something inspiring, like become a confident public speaker. Then your key results would be the measurable steps, like give 1 presentation at work per month and enroll in a Toastmasters course by February. See? The objective inspires, and the key results measure your progress. This table just breaks it down perfectly. You have one big, inspiring objective for each major goal. And then for that one objective, you have somewhere between 3 to 5 super clear, measurable key results. Think of the objective as your North Star, and the key results are the signposts that tell you you're on the right road. Okay, this next idea is a real game changer. What if you don't actually have the skills yet to hit your key results? That's where you switch to a learning goal. Instead of obsessing over an outcome you can't totally control, you focus on the process of learning the skill. This is huge for anyone who's ever felt totally intimidated by a big goal. It basically gives you permission to be a beginner. Right. Vision, check. Structure, check. But now we get to the most important part, the final pillar, mastering the inner game. This is all about developing that psychological toughness to handle the setbacks and self-doubt that are, let's be honest, definitely going to show up. One of the most powerful tools for this actually comes from the world of therapy. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. And at its core, it's about becoming a detective of your own thoughts, learning how to spot those automatic, self-sabotaging beliefs that just pop into your head. A thought like this one, for example. I always quit. Man, it feels like a fact, doesn't it? Like it's a definitive statement about who you are as a person. But the whole insight of CBT is that that feeling is often just a distortion. Your thoughts aren't facts. They're just habits of your mind. And just like any other habit, they can be challenged and replaced. So the next time that thought, I always quit, shows up, you can ask yourself, wait a minute, is that 100% true? Or is it just a story I've been telling myself? Then you can replace it with something more accurate, like, okay, I've struggled with consistency before, but this time is different because I actually have a real structure. Now, let's talk about building that unstoppable feeling of momentum. There's a term for it, self-efficacy. This isn't some vague general confidence. Oh no, this is confidence for a specific task, and it's built brick by brick with small, manageable wins. You have to remember, momentum isn't just a concept from physics. It is a powerful psychological tool you can build. And this is exactly what it looks like in action. That first small win, it gives you just a little bit of that task-specific confidence. The next win builds right on top of that. And by stacking these early, achievable successes, you create the psychological momentum you're going to need to tackle the bigger challenges down the road. And finally, you have to learn to manage your own internal brakes. For perfectionism, the antidote is to aim for good enough progress, not flawless execution. Why? Because consistent action beats delayed perfection every single time. And for that nagging fear of failure, you gotta reframe it. A misstep isn't some final verdict on your ability, it's just fast feedback that tells you what to tweak for your next attempt. So, what actually happens when all these pieces, the vision, the structure, the inner game, finally click into place? Well, you find yourself on a path not of struggle and force, but of alignment. The whole system just starts working together, creating this energy that pulls you forward almost naturally. So, to wrap up the entire framework, it's these three things. 1. You built an inspiring vision that's tied to your identity. That's your deep why. 2. You create a clear but flexible structure to guide your actions. That's your how. And finally, number 3, you develop that inner resilience to manage your own mind along the journey. And that leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. We usually think of discipline as brute force, right? Gritting our teeth and forcing ourselves to do things we don't want to do. But what if true sustainable discipline isn't about force at all? What if it's about creating such powerful alignment between your vision, your plan, and your mindset that moving forward stops being a struggle and instead becomes the most natural thing in the world?